Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary. It is Saturday, April the 13th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. We're going to continue our year-end letter grades. We've done Elias Pettersson, we did Brock Besser yesterday. Let's move on to Bo Horvat. And I'm giving Bo Horvat a solid grade of an A. And I think most of you on Twitter would agree with me. I put the pull up yesterday like I've been doing the last couple days, the day before my video, and I got almost 400 votes and 44% of you giving him an A, 28% of you giving him an A+, which is very high, and then 14% each for A- and B+. Those are the four options. You can only give four options on Twitter. So 44% of you A, another 28% A+. So 72% of you giving him an A or an A+. And I can see why. I know why, and that's why I'm giving him an A as well. You could argue that he was, right in the running for Canucks MVP, along with Jacob Markstrom and along with Elias Pettersson. And Bo Horvat he had a remarkably consistent season. 61 points. He played all 82 games for the Vancouver Canucks. I believe he was the only player to do so. So he had 27 goals and 34 assists, 61 points in 82 games. That's basically almost right on, 3 points out of every 4 games. So 0.75 points per game average, and is second on the team, only behind Pettersson. And he 20 and a half minutes, just under 21 minutes of ice time for the year, which was crazy. And then a decent face-off percentage. Actually, the face-offs were one of the biggest part of his game. He took the most face-offs in the entire league, over 2,000 face-offs, almost 100 ahead of the next guy, Alexander Barkov of Florida, who also played 82 games. So both of those guys played 82 games, and then Horvat, therefore, also had the most face-offs per game at almost 24 face-offs per game, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. 24 face-offs times 82, round a bit, extrapolates to just over 2,000. So that's crazy. 2,000 face-offs for the year, 24 to 25 face-offs a game, of course, neutral zone, offensive zone, defensive zone, and to win 54% of those face-offs. That's a huge difference over the span of 82 games, over the span of 2,000 face-offs. So a beast in the face-off circle, and he had to do that because of injuries to Brandon Sutter, injuries to Jay Beagle, every power play face-off he took. So there's a reason why, not just the face-off, but in filling in for playing a lot of extra minutes when you only had really 3 bona fide centers in the lineup, say him, Pettersson, and Gaudette. If Sutter and Beagle were out at the same time, then Granlund can play as a 4th center or whatever it may be. But yeah, so face-offs were huge. Ice time was huge, obviously. 21 minutes a game. He had some 25, 26-minute games in there. Not a lot, thank God, but a few when the Canucks were short, when we're down a lot. To score 61 points in a season where he really didn't have any regular line mates until the end of the year, where he and Tanner Pearson, who was acquired at the trade deadline, they seemed to have some good chemistry together. But prior to that, he had basically everyone on his line. You can go through every winger except for Besser, who primarily played with Pettersson. Name every other winger on the Canucks team, first line, potentially second line, third line, a lot of fourth line guys. They all got a chance to play with Bo Horvat, and not once did Horvat complain. He just quietly put up his 61 points throughout the season. And when you look at the way he put up those 61 points, very consistent. He only had one bad month, that was February, and his longest pointless streak was only 5 games, which isn't bad, actually. The second longest was, I think, 1 3-game streak, and otherwise, he was every 1 or 2 games, he was putting in 1 point here, 2 points here. He had a 4-point game against Boston back before Christmas, so that was impressive. Another 3-point game later in the year. But in general, just very consistent. A point here, a point there, and that's how you get 61 points in 82 games. Obviously, a leader, too. Not only on the ice, but off the ice. Everyone thinks he's going to be one of the captains, if not the sole captain next season. Hopefully name him as part of the 50th anniversary. But yeah, we've heard the stories. He's the first one to be accountable to the media, either after a win or a loss. The locker room door opens, the guys and the ladies go in, and then Bo Horvat's the first one. The Canucks always make Bo Horvat available for media. You might know that they put usually 4 or 5 guys available at the end of every game, not all 18 skaters or all 20 guys. So they put 4 or 5 guys, and Horvat is always one of those guys. Again, speaks to his leadership. Another part of his leadership, and I've joked about this before, I love seeing the interplay between him and Brock Besser and Elias Pettersson. Horvat is not a lot older than them, only 2 or 3 years older than them, but he seems so much older. He's played 5 seasons in the league already, and I always think that he's like kind of the dad to the Pettersson and Besser naughty brothers type vibe. And I love it. I think it's awesome. And Horvat thrives on leadership. He wants to be the one, the accountable one with the media. He wants to be the leader on the ice, talking to the officials as the captain, whatever it may be. So I can't say enough about Horvat's leadership, both what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I believe to be true. Horvat's been one of my favorite, he is my favorite Canucks player. You know, I love myself some Pettersson, I love Besser, I like Virtanen, I like Stetcher, but Bo Horvat's always been my favorite player ever since my son Sean caddied for him at the Jake Milford tournament back in September 2015, and he even let Sean take a couple swings with his clubs, even though he was a lefty and Sean's a righty. Even let Sean drive the cart around, which is pretty scary when you think about it, having a 14-year-old at the time drive the 14-year-old drive the cart around. Could have injured Bo, but thankfully he didn't. And even back then, very classy, very humble, and he had high hopes for his season. So I've always liked Bo, and he's always been my favorite Canuck ever since I met him. As well, I have had a chance to meet him at a couple, charity things as well, and he's always taken the time to say hello, and we've had good chats. He knows that I wrote that 53 Horvat Magic song about him a couple seasons ago, so that's kind of goofy. But yeah, I just like him. The 2 or 3 times I've had a chance to actually connect with him. Always been very humble, very classy, and I like him a lot. But on the ice is what we want to talk about the most. And every season, I can't believe it's been 5 seasons. And that trade in 2013 when he got traded for Corey Schneider. Well, the 9th pick got traded for Corey Schneider. Turned out to be Bo Horvat. I don't think anyone's complaining about that trade right now. All 5 seasons he's improved. Last year he missed 20 games because of his ankle injury, his ankle sprain. So his points per game has been improving all 5 seasons, and he's only going to get better, especially if the Canucks get an elite winger or another strong winger. He could start the season with Pearson. I don't think he'd complain, but imagine another bona fide scorer on that line. You can see Horvat's numbers improving even more and more, and that's the good thing about Horvat is I don't think anyone thinks he's reached his ceiling. He can get better. He wants to get better. He knows he can get better. And he can get better in a few ways. He can still be more consistent offensively. Defensively, he's good. He's not the best defensively. He's never going to win the Selke Award for best defensive forward. But I think he's improving in that area as well, just as he gets stronger, faster, and more confident, and just understanding the game even more and more. So I think that's one improvement we've seen definitely over the past 5 years, and especially this season, is his defensive work. So all those things, he's a steal. His contract was September 2017. He signed it for 6 years at $33 million, so $5.5 million a year. I think we'd all agree that's a really good deal. If you're getting a first line, second line, you can debate first line, second line with Pettersson with center. But for that production and for that leadership, I actually think $5.5 million is a good deal. If he did that contract today, maybe he's looking at $6.5 million. But 5.5 over 6 years, excellent. And he's going to the 3rd year of that 6-year deal. So for all these reasons, I think Horvat has, I give him an A. An A means excellent or outstanding. And I think he was that good this season, and he will only get better. Imagine putting him with some quality wingers and seeing what he can do with his work ethic, with the way he controls the puck along the boards. And I think Horvat's passing is underrated. I've seen him make some really nice passes, blind passes, no-look passes, that's the same as blind pass, and, passes off the rush, whatever it be. He still likes that toe drag move that doesn't always work, but at least he's getting the puck to the net so guys like Pearson and Levo can then pick up the garbage, so to speak. So I give him an A. Canucks fans, I would love to hear what you think. Leave a comment below. Tell me if you think my grade's right on, if I'm too easy, too lax, or if I'm too hard on the guy. But I think an A is solid. And, looking at it, I'd really only give Pettersson and Markstrom, spoiler alert, Pettersson, Markstrom, and Horvat, I'd give them the A's this season. Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Enjoy the playoffs. A lot of crazy things happening. Game 2 is happening tonight. And for those of you that enter my pool, I'll be sending out the summary sometime this weekend. All right, have a great day. Jake Virtanen's tomorrow. Looking forward to that. God bless. Go Canucks, go.